Chairman Shapiro, Governor, Chancellor Brogan, good morning. While, like many others in this room and in the Commonwealth, anxiously awaited the NCHEM's presentation that was delivered yesterday, we are still looking forward to greater detail, hopefully in the report that's going to be issued next Friday. We're still processing all that was in that presentation, but when it comes down to the suggestion that we all need to pull together, we're certainly willing to pick up an oar and do just that. With that in mind, I would like to suggest that we actually meet at the negotiations table before the expiration of our next contract to take up the one issue that was specifically mentioned by NCHEMS, that is that we work on perhaps a early retirement or a phased out retirement program, which I think could be helpful to our university. So I intend to go to our people and make that suggestion that we come forward with a proposal to you to do just that, and I hope that we will be able to work jointly together to do just that. And so that we could also, at the same time, model cooperative behavior that hopefully will be a harbinger of the larger contract negotiations so that we can move smoothly through that process. With that aside, I believe that the aspect of the report that most stood out yesterday was Mr. Jones' comment that there is no silver bullet. I have to say that I strongly disagree with that comment. I do think, in fact, that there is a silver bullet. That is that we just can't look at the numbers seriously about what has happened in the Commonwealth, what has happened to tuition, what has happened for funding for our state system. We can't ignore the 2012 McGuire report. We can't ignore the reports that have been done recently by the Pennsylvania Budget and Policy Center. And I'll be struck by the fact that Pennsylvania ranks 46th in the nation in per student funding for public higher education. With all due respect to the comments that were made by some yesterday, a 3.5% increase, while it may in fact be necessary, and all the corresponding fees that go along with that, the additional fees that may be added on at the universities, those kinds of increases do make a difference for the working people of Pennsylvania, for our students and for their families. It's not an increase in isolation, it's an increase on top of increases that have occurred in the years before. The simple fact is that when a president of a respected private institution can get on the radio and say that it is cheaper to go to that institution than to a nearby state system institution, something is seriously wrong in this Commonwealth. We have to pay attention to our students, and we have to pay attention to their families, and we have to pay attention to our role in fighting and educating the working class students in Pennsylvania. We've hit the point, frankly, where every attempt to save money actually hurts our institutions. When we close down programs, and we can brag about the programs that we close down, we can brag about reductions in staff, but those reductions in staff mean reductions in services for students. Reductions in programs mean reductions in opportunities for students. I agree with Governor Mueller 100%. I appreciate the fact that you echoed what I said about not balancing the books off the backs of the employees of the system, but I agree with you 100% that we can't do that off the backs of our students and their families either. Our Commonwealth itself, not our universities, is at a crossroads. Too many still have an anachronistic view of what it means to pay for college. They look back to 1995 and think that it's similar. It just isn't. The expenses are, in some cases 50, 75% higher than they were when we adjust for inflation. It's not acceptable, and it should not be acceptable to anyone in this room, and it shouldn't be acceptable to anyone in the Capitol, not the governor, not the legislature, that students should have to choose to indebt themselves for 2 decades in order to be able to attend college. It just isn't right that we have students on our campuses that have to choose between buying books and eating. That is just not acceptable. And it certainly isn't acceptable that what it appears to be, that more people are just simply choosing not to go to college, abandoning their chance at the American dream. I wish some of you could experience what my colleagues experience, what several other staff people at the universities experience. That is to have to look into the eyes of students who tell you that they just simply cannot afford to return to college. It's, at the same time, equally unacceptable for us to continue to close down programs, for there not to be opportunities for our students, for us to promise that you can get a quality education at our universities, at the same time that we're doing things like closing down foreign language majors and doing other things of the sort that actually will hurt our students when it comes to competing in the global market. There is, in fact, a silver bullet, and that lies in adequately funding our universities. We, like everyone else, do appreciate the 2% increase in this difficult budget year. But it also will be a difficult budget year for every one of our students who has to attend our universities. And it will be a difficult explanation for some families to their children about why they cannot afford to send them to our universities. Our policymakers must come up with solutions that provide relief to Pennsylvania's working class. And the future of every citizen in the Commonwealth is at risk until they do. To our students and to our families out there, I say this. Despite some of the rhetoric that you may hear here, the faculty and coaches at your universities have given their time, their money, and their energy in pursuit of trying to get adequate funding for our universities. Our intent is not to stop. Our intent is to double down. We intend to fight, to try and make college affordable, one way or the other. And I certainly hope that everyone involved in the system can make that commitment. I'd say I was wrong. It's not a silver bullet. It's just simply the right thing to do. Thank you very much.